So, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you finding isolation?
Very boring, but surviving it could be worse. Um, Even went for a run yesterday, so things are bad because I hate running.
Yeah, I'm not refusing to run. I was talking to McCagh the other day as well, and he said the same. Yeah, he doesn't like running.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm in work 1 day a week, so I never thought I'd actually be looking forward to the day where I'm going to work.
They have to, and then is it just go into work one day, or are you like is it online?
Yeah, so just for the primary teaching for key workers children. So we have about 10 kids in, so I'm just playing around with them and not doing actual teaching, just babysitting really. So it's just nice to get out of the house.
We don't have to send on like anything online or anything like that because it's primary school.
Yeah, we have Google Classroom, so we just put up like little lessons every day. But yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's balls. Not being able to go anywhere. Like I'm not being able to go training. Just that's the
I
hardest.
know you're so used to having your routine, and like my days are usually like mad busy, going from here to here to here, and now I'm sick of all this free time.
It was great for the first few days. Now the novelty is worn off.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
Yeah, the idea of just sitting around watching Netflix all day was a bore.
I know. I've already run out of things to watch.
Finished Netflix.
Yeah, completed it.
But terms of like bit of Taekwondo chat. I suppose like we'll start like where we were, or start with everybody else, like how you started. I don't actually know this story. Cause look, I suppose as well, like for anybody who wouldn't know, like we know each other years. Like we trained the same club, lived in the same housing estate for a while. So like
Yeah, Shannon Road.
Shannon Road, yeah. So, but yeah, surprised I don't actually know why you started Taekwondo, how you actually got into Taekwondo. So
Yeah, so I was like a complete tomboy when I was younger. So I would have played like literally every sport under the sun. I think like most people, I think I'd seen karate on TV and bits of that. So I said to my dad I wanted to start that, but he had a friend in the club, and he was like, "Oh, give Taekwondo a go." So I actually started with. I had two friends over that day, so they joined with me, and then their brothers joined with us. I think it was 6 or 7 of us ended up going on the same day and sticking at it. But yeah, just I was kind of into every sport, and then once I got to like I think it was like about 12 or 13, the other sports started to drop off as I was taking it more seriously. But yeah, that's basically it.
how long did the other ones that started with you, how long did they stay training?
I got like Saoirse, she stayed until I think black tag, so a couple of years, and we lived beside each other and stuff as well. So, but the others, yeah, dropped off. I think in the earlier stages.
Yeah, they tend to like there's not many people floating around like from when we started.
Yeah, just myself and yourself really from that. Well, I started in '99. What year was it you started?
2002.
72. Yeah.
So a little bit ahead, yeah. So if there's nobody left when I started, there's still definitely nobody left when you started, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like,
God, that makes me feel really old.
Yeah, it's like, well, imagine how I feel when I'm in the club.
Yeah.
Like that, like, because like obviously the hall we're training in now, the fact like it's the second go there. It's like there's nobody, I think, even in the club like that we remember training there. So it's kind
yeah.
So to some people it's the first time, and then to me and a few others it's the second time.
Our second time back at that hall, yeah. Yeah, mad.
But like I suppose like the thing like we kind of got into competing though straight away. Like I suppose like you would have been the same. Like I was competing at a white belt because you could compete as a white belt then. Like you would have been the same, I'd say, would you?
Yeah, I think white belt, yellow tags straight in, and we had like a few interclub competitions as well. And then I remember you used to go over to Scotland for their national championship and a few other ones like that as well from a young age. Yeah.
We're going to them even like I first went to Scotland, I was green tag or something. So
like yeah, just from quite young.
So,
Scotland and Holland, I remember we used to go to choreography.
They felt like the world championships at the time.
Yeah, they did. Very big deal.
Yeah, you come back with a medal as a green tag or whatever colour. Like 8, 9, 10,
Yeah,
you're feeling like a king.
I know. We used to have the newspaper clippings at home as well from it. So
Newspaper, yeah, I'm sure there's somewhere on this desk I have a news clipping like from I think it's actually from Argentina, and it's mostly about Stephen winning the silver. But it's like I think I got a mention in there for a bronze in team sparring, so it's like still around
yeah,
somewhere. No, I wouldn't even look at the newspaper really. But like, yeah,
yeah.
that was the thing. Yeah, Scotland. Yeah, how many times did you go to Scotland? I went to Scotland twice. Were you? I'd say you were a
I
bit.
think 2 or 3 times is probably the same as you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you how I did, but got some sort of medal at it.
And you obviously did patterns and all. Like you would like now you give up the patterns there. Suppose well around like 2011 or 10 or sometime. But like you would have done patterns
Earlier,
obviously.
yeah, 2009 when I was a junior was the last time I competed in patterns. I
Yeah.
retired after that.
Like as a colour belt, like you didn't mind patterns or did you? Like you always competed in patterns.
Yeah, I think that was actually my first trophy was for patterns. I remember that, and then I would have competed all the way up to 2009. I would have competed in it, but I think I was just a very competitive person. It was more that's why I enjoyed it. I don't know how much I enjoyed the training as such for it. Like I think in Argentina I medaled in it, and then I'd got like, so for Argentina I medaled in all the individual ones. I got silver for spec deck and sparring and bronze for patterns and power, and I was just kind of said to myself I'd rather turn those into golds and like specialize in the two. So like after that I kind of kept it to the sparring and special technique, and I said I'd just focus and really go for gold for those two. But yeah, up until then I did compete in them all really: patterns, power, spec deck and special.
But would you have enjoyed those events like, or would you just have kind of done because like I suppose we like in the club you just kind of do everything, like it's not really like with Adrian it's not really oh we're a sparring club or anything, so don't do a bit of everything. Like so would you have enjoyed patterns as
Yeah,
a colour?
I think as a junior I did, but I think as I turned senior, like I remember at squads, like you could either do like 2 sparring sessions or a pattern sparring, and I'd always like if I was doing patterns I'd be looking over the sparring, like wishing I was doing the sparring. It's definitely always been my preferred. I much prefer sparring.
Yeah, I find like the squad sessions, like since I stopped doing patterns, it's like the squad sessions are like the only like that's where I wouldn't mind actually doing patterns because
Oh really? Yeah.
yeah, it's like the squads. I wouldn't mind doing a pattern session, but it's like after that, then the rest of the week or the 2 weeks in between the squad sessions, like, I have no interest really in doing patterns. So what's the point of me competing in patterns if I'm only going to train them once every
Every now
couple
and
of
then.
months? You wouldn't do that with
Yeah.
sparring, so why do it with patterns? But yeah, that's why I kind of half the reason why I kind of step back as well. But yeah, like you're one of the first people to kind of really like start off doing a couple of events and go, no, I'm going to park that now. I'm going to specialize in one. Like kind of for a while, it was just if you were good enough to be picked in 2, you did 2 or you did 3.
Yeah, I know it did frustrate Adrian at the time, but I think it's paid off since. Like it's very hard, I think, to be a good all rounder. I think it's slightly easier at junior, but I think once you're senior, all the divisions are just so competitive. I think you nearly have to specialize. It's very few people. There is a few that do both very well, but it's hard.
Like yeah, I found myself even just the stepping back from patterns, like just going into the sparring. Like the squad sessions are better because you don't have that extra session, so that the sessions in the sparring go better because you get a bit of a rest. And even at the tournament,
Even just energy levels and concentration and everything. Like those squad days can be long when you're doing them all.
especially the way we've been doing the squad sessions recently with the circle of death or the dog house or the dog house, whatever name we're actually giving it. Like it's you don't you'd feel it if you've done a pattern session before going into that, and a sparring session and a pattern session, and then go into that. Like you definitely feel it. But but even at the tournament, like that extra day off of not doing patterns, I find does help the sparring performance.
Yeah.
You probably didn't see it though, like with spec tech, I suppose. Actually that's like not as mentally fatiguing, I suppose, as the patterns, but still like it
and it's not like unless you get
stuff.
to like the playoffs, like you only have to do it once really. So it's just really 3 clicks. It's not too bad.
Like then what was the first year you were on the team? It was 2009.
Yeah, so I'd been to 2 World Cups as a junior, but the first time we were actually let as part of the Irish team to go to a championship would have been 2009. So went to a Europeans and a Worlds that year.
Yeah. The Europeans. How do the Europeans go?
I think they were Spain. Yeah, they were Spain. Been to Spain, I think 4 times now at Taekwondo, but I was to Benidorm.
Benidorm. It's always the place. Like there's no.
Yeah, very well there.
They wouldn't take us to any other place, like, you know.
Yeah, branch it out.
Like the Costa del Sol.
Yeah.
Well, like, and yeah, I was kind of. I remember that time I nearly didn't even know there kind of was a difference, like between, would say, a World Cup or European Championships or World Championships. It was like, because this idea of the Irish team, I didn't fully know like there was this Irish team and that we couldn't actually go for it. It was kind of because we were still kind of going to all these tournaments. It was kind of only around that time. It was kind of like, all right, so that's the.
Yeah, I didn't really understand like the politics, all or any of that.
So then, like, yeah, that was kind of it was a different kind of change then to kind of go, all right, we can go into the national team and then we can go to these bigger tournaments.
And having to qualify and everything was.
Yeah, that was kind of the difference as well. Like, not just you can just kind of decide to go. It's kind of a little bit. It was a bit different. You had to qualify, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you did. So because of that, though, you only ended up with a couple of tournaments as a junior, but they were the only two you did at junior, was it?
Yeah, that was it then. Yeah, Argentina was my first and last junior championship.
First and last. And how many? So did you say 4 medals?
4 and 1 for team. Yeah, so 5 altogether.
Nice. So, like, did you find? Because then we went to Argentina then. You were the senior female team at that one.
For New Zealand, yeah.
Or New Zealand, sorry, yeah, New Zealand, yeah. You were the senior female team.
That was it. It was literally just me, the only senior female. So it's obviously a big change to what it is now.
Did you find? Did you think there was much of a difference stepping up then from junior to senior?
I think for me it was just mentally, like that was the biggest hurdle for me, like going into senior, and I was fighting girls that I'd grown up watching on YouTube and like watching all the videos, and then all of a sudden you're in a ring with them. So I think New Zealand, like I didn't medal or anything. I think that was just, I just needed to go out there, get that one done and realize, yeah, I can hold my own with these people. And then after that I was kind of fine. But yeah, like you said, I was listening to your one with Ryan yesterday and you both kind of said the same thing. You kind of need that first one at senior to see what it's all about. And then.
Yeah, I was going to say like that, like even like your first one as a junior, kind of that kind of, you need to kind of experience it, but then like you kind of had to do that you nearly had a experience. It was like experiencing your first one again, kind of as a senior. It was like a first experience nearly.
Yeah, that was it. So yeah, that was New Zealand. And then I think my first senior Euros were Slovenia then the following year, and I got to the final of that and medalled at that. And then with the World Cup then in Brighton would have been the next big one, I think, after that. And yeah, that was a good one. Like there was I think there was 55 girls in my section, and I ended up against a girl like Neshka who was fighting for Ireland as well. So I lost her in the final of the World Cup. That is my first time in a big gala as well. And then I remember the following week we had to fight in the national team. I was like, I beat her in Ireland like the following week, but not in the World Cup final in front of heckin' loads of people.
Well, who did you fight in the final of in Slovenia?
Alona Jawa.
Oh yeah. That would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was because it was the all weights for that one, wasn't it? So it would have
been both of them would have been minus 58 kilos.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, show my age there.
Yeah, you forget that it was a different weight. There were different weights before.
Yeah.
Which they like, you ended up there. So like then obviously going into the 2013, and it was a bit of a tough decision to kind of pick a section.
Yeah, so following Brighton, like I was always naturally around 55, 56 kilos. So it made sense to me at the time. I was like, oh yeah, I'll go 56 kilos when I changed weight section for the first time. But then I was studying sports science in college, and our coach was in the university as well. So it was my first time like properly following a weightlifting program, and I'd started to like actually put on muscle. And at the time of going over, I'd never had to make weight before anything. I remember being 61 kilos in the airport fighting 56, and I hadn't a clue what to do. So I was like, I thought you drop that off easily. So I remember training for this Euros for months, like put everything into it. And the first I obviously had no food, no water, whatever for those 2 days, and I was going to the sauna and doing all the usual stuff. But I remember I got to that last kilo and it wouldn't budge. I could go to the sauna for 40 minutes, wouldn't even lose 0.1. Like nothing I was doing worked at all. And I never like failing that way in, and I couldn't compete. Like I remember being like absolutely hysterical, like heartbroken, having to watch the whole competition, being like, oh, like I got a medal for spec tech, but I was still like just devastated anyway. But yeah, that was my first experience of the new weight section. I think I know a lot more about it now. Like I'd never cut weight before. Like I could have changed a lot with my diet before I went there, but I don't really think it was a weight section for me anyway. Once I've gone up. Well, I'm 68 now. I've gone up 2 sections since then, but
yeah, but like that. So if you'd known before that, like you weren't going to make it, you would just nearly stayed at home. Like it's like to get all the way there, like, and then. Like,
I know, and then to go through that, like obviously weight cuts are horrible. So to go through all the saunas and the horrible part of the weight cut, and still not get to fight. I was like, oh my god, it was rough. But I definitely learned from it. Like then, like obviously the next tournament was the Worlds that year, and I moved up to 62s, and then I won at that weight. So yes, maybe it was just a hard lesson to learn that wasn't the weight section for me.
Yeah, like did that actually add like any motivation? Like the fact like you kind of miss weight for one, and then like did you find that kind of pissed you off as well? Like I mean, fuck it, like I can't.
It did, and then like
push on, like
yeah, it made me not take it for granted. Like, you know, when you're at tournaments and you're feeling the nerves or whatever, like I was just like, at least you get to fight. Like, you know, when I was at it affected me mentally at the next one. I was just like raring to go and raring to get in the ring, because the last time I couldn't, and it was denied to me.
It could be worse. It could be not fighting. It could be here and not fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I remember even though like that 2013, like I think that was the first time they went where you had to weigh in a throwback bottoms and t-shirt, and I was like, and I was a good bit under on the morning when I got up. I was like a good bit under. I was like, I don't know, 56.8 or so. I had a bit to play with, and so I was sure I'll have a little bit of breakfast, and I had only had a small bit. Like I think I had a small bit of bacon and I had a glass of apple juice, and I was like, actually, I wouldn't mind another glass of apple juice. And I got to the weigh-in and it was 57.6, so it was like 0.1. I was like, oh shit. That second glass. Yeah. So another walk, a walk around the park, went walking for 8 minutes and came back, and thankfully when I stepped on, because I didn't check before I stepped on for the second time, so I was just kind of praying that I hope I'm on weight here. And yeah, thankfully it said 57.45, so I was like just inside. So like,
yeah,
that would have been a great one if the two of us had went and not got the fight.
I know, we bring a shame on Shannon.
I know, yeah. If the two of us hadn't not got the fight, disaster.
Oh god, yeah.
Like yeah, then it's like in 2013. How many fights did you have at that World Championships?
I had 5 fights.
Was that the first time you had 5 fights at a tournament, or had you had 5 before?
I think for that World Cup in Brighton, I had about 5 or 6 the same. Yeah, but yeah, 5 tough fights. Like, so it was.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and I had tonsillitis at the time as well, so I was like getting sick in between rounds, and it was it felt like a lot longer.
And like, who did you fight? Was there any like standout names that you fought? I didn't say we were on at the same time, so I didn't actually get to see you fight at that Worlds.
Yeah, I suppose Propovska would have been the biggest one for me. That was in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
So she was,
I forgot about
obviously
that.
she'd won I think the last 3 worlds before that, and like I remember like as a little kid I used to watch her videos on YouTube all the time. She'd like these highlight reels, like, so yeah, that was probably the biggest one for me. And then Alona Omnichensk in the final as well was another tough one.
Yeah. Did you find you had the kind of same thing as maybe New Zealand, like when you were looking across the ring going, or like you were looking at the section going, oh, I know all these people, I looked up, I was watching these people. Did you find you had any of that then fighting Proprotska?
I think I got that out of my system in New Zealand, and once I was in the ring, just treat them like any other person that I'd fight, like. But I think that was kind of the lesson I learned from New Zealand. And then
Especially like the semi-final, like you were on a roll, like as well. You know, maybe the first round it would have been different, like, but kind of once you're out of the first round, you kind of.
Well, yeah, once you're in the swing of things, you kind of.
Yeah, that's what I was finding. The first round can always be the one that can catch you. Like after that, you just hit the floor.
Yeah, if you have a slow start at all, you're like, oh, but yeah, you kind of pick up momentum as you go, like, through the rounds.
Yeah, like they didn't do that final on center, did they?
No, they did it. They had a break, like 20-minute break or something, and then just went straight into it, which I nearly prefer. When they put it in the gala sometimes and stuff, you've like all day to think about it and whatever. I feel like when you're in the flow of it, I kind of prefer just to get it done.
Yeah, but even like not just like, even if it's not in the gala, like just move it to center. See, that's what I was saying. Even in Germany, like they were having semi-finals and final. There was 2 world finals only going on at the same time at opposite sides of the arena. You couldn't watch both. You had to pick one, and you nearly didn't know was it the final or is that a semi?
Yeah.
I thought, like, put it on the center and let everybody know, like, this is the final of this section.
That's what I found was quite nice about the WACA Worlds, because they do all the first rounds and second on different days. The last day was just all semi-finals and finals on the one ring, and you can watch them all one after another. So that was quite a nice way to do it. Like,
that would have been different actually in Germany if they put them all on the one ring semi-finals and finals. Like if they had decided not to, like, to put them on a different day, but put them all on center, that would have been a bit different.
Yeah.
What did you think of fighting the semi-finals and finals on different days, or even like that in WACO, like fighting on, you know, one fight a day? What do you think of that?
For me personally, I don't like it. I can see why they do it, but as I said, I kind of get my momentum going. I like to just keep going with it. But I suppose it kind of. But then you've got more time to recover. You probably fight better if you had that day of rest or whatever as well. So yeah, there's pros and cons to it, I suppose.
Yeah, like at the Worlds in Germany, what day did you fight? How long did you have to wait from like your first couple of rounds to the semi-final? Like, how many days did you have off?
I just had the one day. I was on the next day again. Yeah, so I think on the Friday, and then the semi then was on the Saturday. Yeah,
I was kind of the same. I've said, because I've asked a couple of people that I've had on, like Katrina and Magma, what they thought, and I was saying, like, I was the same. Like, I fought the Friday evening, so it was like last fight on that ring, or second last fight on the ring, and so it was like get changed, get on the bus, go get some food, wake up the next morning, go fight. So it's like, it wasn't like much time to think about it. It was like, you know, it was like a break, a rest, sleep, get up and go again. But I think if you had to wait 2 days, there were some of the juniors that got to the semi-final on the Thursday and then weren't fighting again until the Saturday. So I think that's maybe that could be a bit different to only having to wait the 1 day.
Yeah, that extra day longer
to think about it. Build it up.
I know, that's the thing. Like, you're just kind of on autopilot when you're in there going through the rounds, but I think when you have like that overnight to think about it, it's a different story.
Yeah, but I think as well the rest was good. If you had a tough draw, I think the break would have helped. Like if you had a tough match, like if you had a tough quarterfinal and you're going into a tough semi-final, the break could have been good. So that's why I kind of felt like I had a tough quarterfinal and then I was going into a tough semi-final. So like the break in between to kind of think about it, like reset, like get a rest, and then go again was kind of, I felt it was a bit better. But
yeah,
like I would like to see all the finals on centre though.
It'd be nice, yeah. I feel like especially like I remember in Ireland, like, you know, there's just everything was happening all the time. Like you miss so much of your friends' fights or like of the team. It'd be nice to actually just sit down and watch them all at once. That would be nice.
How did you find out actually the Worlds in Dublin, like with the weight and like what number with the kind of the order of the finals? What number fight were you?
I was third final up. So I was after Katie and Maeve,
Would you
and
prefer
then
to win first?
there. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Because I think obviously like we're all really close friends, so I think you kind of get, even without trying to, like I was trying to switch off, but like you are emotionally invested in how they're doing and how theirs went. Like, whereas I think if I just went first and didn't.
Yeah. I went second, so like Adam went first, and you kind of felt like, I think everybody would have felt like, there's not really a doubt he's going to win. So I think that was kind of good. I didn't feel like I had to watch that too much, like,
Yeah.
but I didn't want to go out. I remember, like I said to Adrian, I was like, oh, no, I don't want to go out to the ring too early, and be standing there, and then and having to get caught up, like, in him winning, and like, the kind of celebrating thing going on. It's like, no, I just want to focus here, like, and just get it, like, walk into the ring and just get it done. Like, don't be hanging about.
Yeah.
Just to not get distracted. But like that, thankfully, yeah, I'm in second, and I thought that then, so I got to watch Ryan's fight. I got to watch Column's fight. Yeah, I wouldn't.
After, yeah.
Going
Yeah,
last.
it's hard not to, like, you just get so caught up in it all. It's like, it's hard to like switch off, pretend they're not there.
Yeah, and but then, like, that's fine until it's like the referee's going, like, Hong Chong, and it's like, oh shit, that's me. I have to step. I was like, oh yeah, I'm fighting now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but like between after 2013 and like you went on a bit of a hiatus, I suppose, a bit of a break.
Yeah, like in my head, I think at the time I was like, oh, I just want to win Worlds, and then that's all I've ever wanted. I'm done or whatever. But like that didn't last very long. So I went traveling for a bit. Like went to Thailand, and I was doing like, oh, I miss fighting, I miss hitting things. So I started doing bits of Muay Thai, and I was like, like tied me by for a bit. And then I went over to New Zealand, and I was living with Master McPhail actually. So I was coaching for him, and then obviously got back into training and doing bits then. And they were nice enough to let me train with their national team over there. They were preparing for the Worlds in 2015. So like once I was in that environment, I was like, oh no, I miss it. I need to come back. So moved back to Ireland then and started training and start all back again.
Yeah, but then you started training in Dublin. Then did you find out?
Yeah, back in Clare for like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 months, and then I moved up to Dublin, and I was training up there for 2 years. 2 years, 3 years, 2 or 3 years. Yeah, till the Worlds in Ireland anyway.
Yeah, did it take a bit of time to like adjust to maybe a different training schedule? Like, it was different to what it would have been before the Worlds in 2013. It's like you weren't kind of going back into the same kind of setup.
Yeah. It was like the setup in Dublin is quite different, because it's like they have their club sessions, which you'd go to maybe once a week or twice a week, and then they'd have, I think there was maybe 11 or 12 of us, because they've got such a bigger club. There's 11 or 12 of us on the national team that would train separate to that, as well as your one-on-one. So like, yeah, it's quite a different setup because they have such a big club and so many people on the national team. It's quite different.
Yeah, and you kind of then, because like obviously around Clare and that kind of area, there isn't any wacko clubs, kickboxing clubs that you could train in. But like in Dublin, then you had the chat. There's obviously much more of a pick for that. So then you kind of took up a bit of that then as well.
Yeah. I started doing it. Not as regularly as I was doing the Taekwondo, but I did do a good bit of the kickboxing, and I enjoy it actually. I hopefully will find a club over here as well and get back into that side of things. But it was very different at the start. I thought, oh, like it's pretty much the same as Taekwondo. You're just punching and kicking people, but like there's just a huge difference. Like once you start doing it.
Yeah, especially with the smaller ring.
Yeah, the one mat difference. It's a big difference once you're in there.
Yeah, what? Because you started training in Spartan kickboxing, wasn't it? Did you switch then?
Yeah, I spent a couple of months in Dublin when I was on placement for university, so I started training there then. But then I lived a bit further away, so that's mostly a points-based club, and so I was training with them for a bit, and then with Robbie Haas, so the same place that Adam and Ryan, Shelley would train, and all them there. So there's a lot of Taekwondo heads in the club already, and I started training with their national team and doing bits of John Mackey as well, and
yeah, it would have been a help. Like there was a mix of Taekwondo people there as well. that kind of for trying to blend the two styles together, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, Adam Ryan, Cullum was there, Ellen Ince, Keen Ince. Yeah, a lot of taekwondo heads there.
But it was 2015, and so you didn't you missed the tournaments in 20. No, you're back for the Euros in Scotland, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I'd missed the Worlds and stuff. I think I only came back from traveling kind of in the summertime, and then went to Scotland. I think I took a bronze in sparring there, and then what was it? 2016. Then was 2016 World Cup Budapest. That was good. We won it was the first time out we'd won like the senior. It's the first time we won the female team sparring for that, and we actually went the whole way through without losing a match, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty class actually. Yeah, especially considering like it was probably wrapped up after, you know, maybe the three. If you'd won the first three matches, it was probably close to being finished.
Yeah.
So then to still win the fourth and fifth fight, like it can be tough, you know. Like if the whole match is over, but you still have two fights to go or a fight to go, it can be hard to still get the win, and because you're going out knowing it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it's not the be-all and end-all. Yeah, this is a massive change. Obviously, in 2011, being the only senior female to now having such a selection that you can put anyone on and expect 4 flags. Like,
yeah, because like there was, well, I think as you said, the first couple of years, like you would have been on the team. First couple of years I was on the team, like there pretty much wasn't a senior female team. So
yeah,
some change to winning World Cup,
what we have now.
and winning winning World Championship medals, European Championship medals. It's yeah, some change.
Yeah, now there's big competition for it. Like you have to earn your place in the team, whereas before it's just trying to get 5 girls together.
Did you ever find like did that ever put you off in taekwondo, being sometimes the only girl?
I suppose like that first tournament in New Zealand, like I think that's a time as well, like when you're going into college and stuff, like a lot of females especially, I think, kind of drop out around then. But no, it wouldn't put me off as such, but like I finally enjoy it a lot more now, having all the girls around, and like it's just more fun. Like you have like a network of friends, and yeah, it's like going on holiday with your friends then as well, whereas before I suppose that was missing a bit.
Yeah, like I know I had that like in kind of the change over like from 2017 when a lot of the lads kind of dropped out. It wasn't as enjoyable for a bit of time, because
yeah,
you know, the people are doing it with, like, you kind of, the ones that were there when I was doing it with them before, they weren't there anymore. So it's kind of like, this isn't as much crack now. But it's picked up again. Like I've got the buzz back in that, you know, which I suppose I could see like the way you had it like in New Zealand, where being the only female, it's like even just somebody to talk to that isn't male.
yeah, no, big change since then. It's nice.
Yeah, but even like as a kid, like as a colour belt, I suppose there was always really girls in the club though, I suppose, so that wasn't ever really a problem.
Yeah, growing up there was a decent amount of girls. But yeah, even I suppose me and Sky then kind of Sky, Rachel, black belts made it through.
Yeah. So so because I think like it's a thing with other sports, obviously, like there seems to be a bit of a drop off sometimes with females in some sports, like especially like you said around that time when you go to college. Do you think actually going to college kind of local, like, you know, being able to get to the club regularly, that helped? Like if you move to Galway or Dublin or something like that, do you think that would have affected your training?
I think so, but I think I always choose like where I'm going to make sure I'm near a taekwondo club. Like I only ever can't speak now. I only ever would have went somewhere where I was near a taekwondo club. Like that was like nearly my main priority, not the course. It was like, can I still train? Like even when I moved here to my post grad, I was like, okay, there's taekwondo club near. When I moved to London, taekwondo club. I'm like, I'm always looking to see, is there somewhere where I can train? But yeah, I think obviously I think a lot of people if you go to places where there's not such a big taekwondo community, it must be hard, and that would probably lead to drop out a bit. Yeah, I think once you're yeah, our course is what, 4 years. If you're 4 years without regular training, then very hard to come back from.
You're not coming back. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
think that is kind of part of it, like as well. Why most of the girls are in Dublin, because they're able to, they can stay at home, they can go to college, and they can still go training. Whereas if you're moving out of, I think if you're moving out of home, it can be kind of hard to stay training. If you're able to go home, go to the club, and then go to college and stuff, that does help.
Yeah, if you can fit it all in, then you're in a lot better position.
Yeah, but you didn't, like, I suppose, you didn't live at home going to college, like, did you? You didn't, did you?
No, I moved out to Limerick. Yeah, so
well,
it'd been like
it's close enough to, like, you could have been.
I probably didn't need to, but
yeah, like getting home wasn't the problem. Like, it wasn't a big ordeal to go home.
yeah, I could drive to training every night, and then having Adrian working in our university as well was very handy.
Yeah. yeah, big help. So, like, then the Worlds in 2017. Would you say the Worlds in 2017 was the best tournament you've been at?
Yeah, definitely. Like, in terms of organisation, like the atmosphere, just having like all the athletes staying in the one place, it was just like such a different feel to all the others where you have to hop on a bus, and like you got to know you had the like Olympic athlete village kind of feel. Like, it was nice. And then obviously for us, we had all our family and our friends there, and
I thought that was definitely different. Like, I suppose, like, you, especially if you, like, I think some of your, like, you had friends that kind of came along as well, like, did you, to watch?
Yeah, the whole school. I used to train a primary school class, and like 30 boys of them coming screaming. So it was that was a strange one.
Yeah.
And then just friends and housemates and family. It was it made it feel nearly more ordinary because you're seeing these people every day, and then it's just in City West where you've been loads of times before. It was weird, like, not hopping on a plane and like in a different country. Like, it was strange but nice.
Yeah, I found that even as well, like arriving a day early and setting up the mats and stuff. It was kind of like I was there before there was any look of a tournament, like, and it was kind of like, you were helped setting it up, like, it's kind of when it kicked off, like, it didn't feel as big, like, because it was nearly, you saw a little bit behind the scenes kind of a thing, like,
Yeah.
But it was like that. It was like you would have had an Irish tournament, like, if you helped put out the mats, like, if you helped with the setup, and it kind of took the big feel off it. But yeah, like, definitely, I think a lot of people I've chatted to, like, they've said, the Worlds in Ireland was the best tournament they were at. But I suppose probably Benidorm, though, probably holds a little bit more in your heart, because
results wise, Benidorm would be pretty up there.
Did you find it weird fighting somebody from Ireland in the final at Worlds? Because, like, fighting Lindsay, or did they even notice it because it was just like, I'm fighting Ukraine?
Yeah, I suppose because she hadn't trained in the years leading up to it, it didn't feel like I was fighting someone. But I've had it a lot. Like, myself and Sarah and Ellen and stuff would have been fighting each other a lot in the lead up. So, we were lucky though. I think we had four girls get to the final as well. We didn't quite put it off as well as the boys, but
yeah. Or did you? Was it not 5 girls?
Oh, 5. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
5.
5 of us.
So,
you forget because the 2 were in the same one.
Yeah. Like, after that, like, we were kind of going, like, I was thinking, I was like, Jesus, if we get anywhere near that, like, 4 finals, we'll be going well. Like, so
yeah.
I wasn't thinking like, oh yeah, we'll rack up, we'll beat that now, or anything, like, we'll get 4 gold medals, because as well, like, the juniors had done class as well. So, and it was mostly, I think there was only one senior female section to go, and then it was all the senior male sections on the Saturday. So it's like all our sparring groups, like, our divisions, had done well, like senior females, the junior male, junior female, did all done savage. So I was like, Jesus, we're well up against it here to pick up some good medals, and managed to do it. Like, so that was a buzz. Like, yeah,
and then the team sparring then was like the cherry on top.
Yeah, that was class as well. Like, that was just that was just an unreal week, like to win all this, but like get to world number 1 basically on sparring.
Yeah. Yeah. It was actually, yeah.
But as well, like, but it was class as well because you knew going into it, like obviously the senior males had 1 to 2 before that, so it was like they were going for 3 in a row, but it was kind of like that. It was kind of not the first worlds, but it was kind of the worlds you're looking at going like, this is probably the best team that we could put out, like, and like that there was even people who didn't get on the floor. It was like the first time you had really a selection of senior females, like, so you were really looking at going into that one as like, yeah, there's a legit chance of winning a gold medal, like, so to then actually pull it off was class.
Yeah, it was our first, like we'd won the World Cup, so we had confidence going in because of that. But like in a World Championship, I think we'd only ever gotten as far as bronze before, and just about had a team. But yeah, I think the coaches had a tough choice, even choosing who to put on the team. Like,
yeah, like all the time before that, it was, well, we have 6, so the team picks itself. It was kind of the first one where there was actually selection to go, oh well, some people are going to be a little bit disappointed here and knock it on the floor.
yeah,
Like it's kind of what you need. Like the senior lads had, out of the 4 gold medals that we had from the individual, like 2 of them weren't on the team. You know, myself and Colin weren't on the team. Like, so there isn't many countries that get to do that and go, oh yeah, we're going to leave 2 guys who just won the world yesterday, we're going to leave them off, but we're still going to go on and win the gold.
Yeah, crazy.
After that, like, we went then, like, we went teaching for Mighty Fist for a while.
Yeah, I went on one of my traveling sprees. So I went over to Bridget and Jason over in, because I did the Mighty Fist Cup with them in 2016, and then they'd mentioned before, like, if you ever fancy coming and coaching, doing a bit for us, so let us know. And then I'd kind of finished up in the job I was in afterwards, like, because I'd meant to do the primary teaching the year before. I'd went over to England, did all the interviews and stuff, and then once I found out the Worlds were going to be in Ireland, I just put it on hold, cancelled it, wasn't going to go to courses. Like, I want to be in Ireland and fight for Ireland for the Worlds in Ireland. So then I was like, oh, I applied for it again afterwards, like kind of like that year in between where I went over to them then. Yeah, so I was coaching in California for a bit and got to nip down to Queen's Taekwondo Club in New York and trained with them they did two summers where I'd nipped down and did bits of training with them, which was good as well. So yeah, I'm lucky I've got to like train a lot of different places now, between New Zealand and America and all over. So
yeah, no, it was a nice way to experience California, like train a bit of Taekwondo and teach Taekwondo, and you're in California. So
yeah, that's it. Like a massive club. Like, I think there's 7 classes on a day, like, and it's huge.
that's a lot. Yeah, well, you obviously weren't teaching all 7. You obviously weren't teaching all 7.
They were all like an hour and a half. Like, I was doing 4 days a week of doing the 7, but like, you're not like they had like a couple instructors, so, you know, if you need to go take a break or whatever. But yeah.
But was that easier work than the work you would have done when you did a J1?
When I did the J1,
was it easier work, like teaching some Taekwondo classes? That was easier work than you would have had to do, like doing the J1, like
yeah, probably more enjoyable for sure.
You went to make sure I have the right one, American Kickboxing Academy then, didn't you, aka?
Yeah, I started doing like yoga. I said I'd give that a go because, as you know, I'm not the most flexible. And I met this guy who was a fighter there, and he's like he trained there. He's had two UFC fights since, actually, and but he was like, oh, come train. So I did a few sessions there with them. Which is, it's good.
Big names though. Didn't meet any like Khabib, Daniel Cormier. Didn't meet any of those guys.
No, they didn't seem to be there any of the times I was there. But yeah, you can see all their photos on the wall and everything, like, and
yeah,
I think he would have trained with them with that. But yeah,
because it looks like a class gym in pictures. Anyway, it looks like a savage kind of setup.
Yeah, the facilities like that is massive. Like, they have so many different rooms and different bits and bobs in there. Yeah, it's good. Some different.
Yeah, savage experience, I suppose. Yeah, like it could have been a worse summer you could have had. California,
exactly, yeah.
And down to AKA.
Yeah, then I went on to South America after that, and I was training with Gabriel that I'd met at the Mighty Fist Cup. So I was training in Colombia, and then Valerie and her dad were over from Norway, so I got to train them a bit. And yeah, like it's mad. Anywhere you go in the world and you can train.
Find something, yeah. Because I don't think like I've pretty much on it, yeah. I haven't went traveling like that, so it's pretty much wouldn't say I've jumped around too much. Like it's a lot of training in Ireland, but
yeah. I think I've just got the bug.
do you find training's any different in all those places, like, or is it kind of fairly similar?
I know, yeah. There is. I think it is quite different. Some bits are obviously very similar, but like just different methods and attitudes, and yeah.
Do you find a language barrier trying to train in those places?
Actually, it's not as much as an issue as you would think. Like,
Dólio Chaggy is Dólio Chaggy.
Yeah, the Korean bit, then you just watch what everyone else is doing and join in.
Just watch. But guess what they were looking for.
Yeah.
So like, and then like because you're living in London now and working there. So where you training now?
So at the moment I'm training in the De Silva Academy, so with Johan De Silva. It's funny, there's Shane O'Rourke as well as here, who's also from Shannon, where we're from, and we've just had Axel and Emilio. Well, they're still over, they're stuck here because of Corona, but
are they? Because that was
yeah.
like they're stuck. Because I remember like talking to him at the Warrior Open, and he said he was going to be here for 2 weeks. So then I just wasn't sure, like, did they decide to extend their stay a little bit, or were they told like?
Yeah, I think
you're staying here.
Was able to fly back because his flight was like a few days earlier. But well, yeah, I know I think they're stuck here now for however long.
Do they know like how long, or?
I don't think so. No. haven't talked to them too much since, but yeah, I know they were going to the consulate to try and sort it out, but
must be strange for Johan. He's just got himself 2 housemates.
That's it, yeah. Well, at least they have the academy, so they can go in and do a bit of training amongst themselves.
Yeah, like, because even just for money, like, just to be told, oh yeah, you're staying here for indefinitely. Enjoy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, crazy, like.
Suppose they were actually lucky that Johan is able to give them a place to stay, because if they were looking at you'd want to be renting. Yeah,
there's there's feck all hotels, because a bus actually crashed into my house last week, and they were like, you need to find somewhere to stay. And I was like looking obviously at hotels and stuff, but like so many of them are obviously not open. I stayed with a friend in the end, but yeah,
how did a bus come through your apartment door?
It's a good question. I don't know. I think there was another car involved, and he hit the accelerator instead of the brake and went full force into the impairment. It was the shops below me, so, but because I wasn't in, I was at work, they like bust down all the doors and they didn't know if it was safe to stay in, but they seem to think it's safe now. I'm back, so.
Imagine if you were sitting in the apartment. You're sitting there chilling.
I know. I was like, any other day. I only work 1 day a week, and it was the day I was at work. And if I'd have been, because it's literally my bedroom, my living room, it's right in between the two. It crashed, so I would have been quite the shock.
Like that's pure your luck, though. No, that's a pure.
I know, especially during coronavirus, when obviously people
don't
want to be invited to have hotels closed.
Yeah, that's definitely a Louise story. Like, oh yeah, just a bus came through my apartment.
Yeah, life is blue.
Have you any plans to maybe compete for England?
I don't know. When I was in Birmingham, living in Birmingham when I was training for the Wales in 2019, and I flew back for all the squads and training and stuff like that. Like, it's a lot of extra expense and stuff, but like, I suppose when you've built up that connection, like I have like my coach Adrian, and like I don't know, I think I'd find it weird to fight for another country. So no, probably not.
If they could swing it that you could compete for England, but Adrian could coach you, would that do it?
I don't know. Yeah, that would maybe. But I'd still miss all my teammates, and it'd be weird. Like, you could be against them in the first round, you won't be able to do team sparring with them, and like, I don't know. No, I still think Ireland. Eventually, I might give in, but no, probably not. No.
Yeah, well, I think there was a time like Eddie was doing patterns before, and there was a clash. I think it was Benidorm, and I think Keil Ramboot just sat in the chair for him for a second, because you have to have a coach as well for patterns. So like,
Yeah.
so that was fine. So what would be the difference if you were competing for England and you had Adrian sitting in the chair for you?
Yeah, true. Don't know how they'd feel about that, but
I don't know if it actually went noticed that it wasn't an Irish coach sitting in the chair when Eddie did it. Like, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, if you might be able to get away with it if they don't notice, but if somebody notices, they might kick up a fuss.
Yeah, probably. I just even the training, like I love our squads, and like and we've got like such a good team to train with and fight with, and the build up. It'd be very strange. Even like staying with a different team and hotel and all, be weird.
And how often are the squads in England then?
I'm not sure actually. I haven't been to any. They're I'd say they're similar to us every second or third weekend.
Yeah. Well, so I was thought like Magomed said they only have squads like every 6 months nearly.
Really, is that just because of like travel and stuff, or?
I think that's part of it, yeah, because he said for him to get to the squads, it's an hour flight. So I suppose that's part of it, but still, it's just
Yeah,
I think because of the way we do it. Yeah, but I think it's because the way we do it, like, you know, with the squads every couple of weeks, I think you nearly just assume that like, yeah, everybody's doing that when they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, like American stuff, they can't have them that often, sure. They probably have to have more regional ones, or.
Yeah, I suppose you would even look at like Russia. You're not gonna.
I'm just gonna nip over to the side for.
Yeah, I think that's why. I think that's like for their team patterns teams as well. Like that's how they pick it. They pick it kind of. They get people that are kind of fairly close that could potentially train together. They don't have people from the other side of the country trying to practice a team pattern.
Yeah. God, I actually didn't even think of that through Zoom.
Try and get the split going. Imagine.
Yeah.
I'd love to see somebody try and do it.
Yeah, maybe they will now with this corona. If people are left in lockdown for long enough, they'll get inventive.
Is Johan running any classes through Zoom?
I think it's something he's working on at the moment. So yeah, I think that is the plan. There seems to be plenty online anyway. A load of people are throwing up bits. I'm lucky I've got a kettlebell and some weights here, so got that running. And then the days I'm in work, I can get one of the lads to hold pads for me. So yeah.
What I miss as much as anything is not even just hitting something; it's actually getting hit, as well as.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's just something like about like. That's just part of it. Like it's like going over, you know, getting a smack and then hitting somebody a smack is like that's
yeah.
like
I know. I was like, the longest I'm ever gonna go without hitting someone or something, because like I don't even have a punch. Like at home, I've got like a punch bag and bits and that, but like here, I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna hit someone.
And like, will you train at home now? Like, will you pick up that kettlebell?
Yeah, to be fair, I've been doing a bit each day. Like the first week, I wasn't that motivated. Then I kind of this weekend, I was like, cop on, I need a routine, and I've been doing bits.
Yeah, I do find
it's
it
hard without a goal. Like when you're not training for like a specific competition, or you don't know when this is going to end, it's harder to motivate yourself. But just trying to keep like that base level there, so when this is over and I am competing, that I can just.
Yeah, like I find it hard to train at home. I think getting up and having to go to the club, like go to the gym, is like it kind of just gets you in the right mode. Like, you know, just.
Yeah.
It's too easy to not train at home, to just go. I must go. I'll go train there now in about 20 minutes, and then like the 20 minutes are gone. Oh yeah, like, you know, at least 10 minutes I'll go there, I'll do a bit, and then like the day's gone, and you're like, oh, I didn't actually go and train there at all today.
I know, yeah, you just have too much time, and it's just like, yeah, I'm the same, because I went and bought all like from my home house in Ireland, like got like a barbell and all this gym equipment. I was like, I'll just do it from home. There's no point me driving half an hour to go to the gym, but it's just not the same because you're not in the same environment and atmosphere and other people around. I never used to train at home, so I ended up selling it all and just joining a gym because like I never use it.
Yeah, like I haven't done a whole lot because, like I said, I'm refusing to run. So then anything else is like the motivation is hard to do anything.
yeah, I'm not doing a huge amount, but I'm just doing like a little, say 40 minutes a day. Keep me ticking. I've gotten very inventive in my cooking. That's what I've been doing.
Inventive, like curry, is it? Veg curry.
Yeah, I made a fish curry the other day. I've been making made chicken taco, lettuce taco things yesterday. So I make one healthy meal and do 40 minutes a day. That'll do me for now.
What's on the menu for today then?
Tofu, weirdly enough, giving that a chance. I got it's this Mindful Chef. It's like this box, so they deliver you all the stuff. So I'm actually not really being that inventive. I'm copying their recipes, but yeah, tofu. I'll keep you updated.
I'll do it. Yeah. It's been great though, because I'm getting on. I'm not doing much cooking at all. Like my mom's doing all the cooking pretty much, so it's been great.
Yeah.
Usually from training, like she's working and I have the classes to go to and teach and stuff and training that. So I was like, I'll be cooking for myself. Now I have barely cooked anything for myself the last 2 weeks. It's been great.
Been waiting on. I know. I was very tempted to come home for a while. Like it was hard to know it's like to stay over here or to come back to Ireland. And I was like, at home, I was like, I have my punch bag, my dog. You can be fed, but I was like, oh, it's better to be on the safe side and stay here.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of, like a lot of people with the same kind of thing, like nearly prefer to be at home with family, but it's kind
don't want to risk it at the same time. Yeah.
Staying where you are. So going
to you just don't know.
Not ideal.
I know, and I've been around so many kids for so long, and like obviously the kids reminded now are like the kids of nurses and stuff who are dealing with it every day. So I was lucky that probably high risk. So
yeah, but before we you started a club then in London. Like, how's the club going?
I did, yeah. I used to have one in Limerick. Thomas Fogarty's running it now, and I enjoyed that. And then I set one up just in the school I'm working in, Shepherd's Bush. So yeah, I was enjoying that till Corona ruined it. Just for kids. So 4 to 7-year-olds in 4 to 6-year-olds in one class and 7 to 11 in the next. You're doing well.
Are you going to do anything online, or are you just going to kind of look at sharing what other people are doing?
Yeah, I wasn't sure like how that would go. I think because we just had 3 weeks left in our term, but yeah, I might send on a few bits and bobs for them to do. A lot of them are in my actual school class as well, so I'll put it along on their Google Classroom. Do this.
It won't be too hard to kind of keep them engaged then, because like when they go back to school, they get to see you. It's kind of the challenge, I think.
Yeah.
Like we kind of
have.
Yeah,
I'm getting a bit more tech savvy now as well.
Yeah, like I think like the challenge that we have in a couple of other clubs, that if you don't keep any bit of engagement while they're off, they probably won't come back. So have to keep them pestered a small bit. But like you said, if most of you're going to see most of the ones in the club anyway. So when you go back to work and go back to school and that, so it mightn't be too hard. Ask them.
Yeah.
We're training this week.
Yeah, exactly. I can nag them.
Like I've been asking people over the last couple of podcasts, who would you say is your favorite fighter of all time? Favorite fighter, gosh. Or even, it doesn't have to be Taekwondo, it could be boxing, MMA, kickboxing, any sport.
Favorite fighter of all time. Oh my god, you didn't prep me for this one. I have a few. It changes a lot. Like I think when I was like, the first person kind of we all saw to become a world champion was Luke Wood. So like growing up, I would look to him. I remember when I was like a little girl, I always used to email Julia Cross, and she used to like send me advice and stuff. So I think growing up, those two I looked up to a lot. And then obviously Katja Sullivan, who doesn't. Yeah, there's just so many now, so many talented fighters from around like.
Would you be able to pick like just even if just a favorite athlete? Is there one favorite like across any sport, like kind of like a sporting hero?
God, just one. No, no joking.
No?
I don't know. Hard to pick just one. I read GSP's book the other day. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, was it good? Would you recommend?
Yeah, really good. I would recommend.
Might pick it up and have a read.
Do you have the time now?
Lots of time, yeah. But no, I think we'll actually wrap it up. It's been good to chat to you. Like,
yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Like I said,
rambling away.
Hope you keep well, and we get back training soon. Because like I said, I miss hitting things and I miss getting hit.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be back in Shannon soon for Circle of Death.
The Circle of Death. Yeah, it's a bit of, like, that's what I'm missing. That's exactly what I'm missing, is that.
I know. It's like a love-hate thing. I was like, you hate it, but you love it at the same time.
You love it when you're finished.
Yeah.
But look, you got through an hour of talking, and like, I don't think you've made a fool of yourself.
Yeah, I know. I was nervous because I was telling you about my past experiences in radio, which didn't go well. But yeah, come a long way since.
Yeah, no, you've done all right. It'll be good. I'm sure people will enjoy listening. So
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I won't make your podcast flop. Viewings will be going way down.
It's only on the rise. But sure. We'll leave it there, and all the best.
Perfect. Thank you.
Bye bye.